Today we are going to discuss about the topic quality function deployment. Short form is QFD. Okay, it is a tool. It is a planning tool used to fulfill customer expectations. If you consider any product, so product will be designed in order to satisfy some of the needs of the customer. Quality function deployment is also a planning tool which consider the needs of the customer, that is expectations of the customer, and later it will be transformed into a product through various process. A disciplined approach to product design. Again, if needs of the customer are understood properly, then company will go for designing a product in order to satisfy those needs. Then engineering, various technologies need to be employed in order to convert this design into a product. Okay, in manufacturing, various manufacturing operations or processes can be employed. It may be machining, it may be forging, okay, or it may be joining processes, or it may be even additive manufacturing or 3D printing. Like that, there are many technologies which we can employ. So that is engineering. And later you have to plan for production and provides in-depth evaluation of a product. An organization that correctly implements quality function deployment can improve engineering knowledge, productivity, and quality, and it will result in reduction in cost, then reduction in product development time, and the number of engineering changes that need to be made will be less if you follow the approach of quality function deployment. Otherwise, if you are not able to understand the needs of the customer or expectations of the customer, and if you go for designing, then what will happen? There are chances that so you need to make many modifications in the design, or even if you go for production also, after producing few pieces of a product, you may have to go back to a design stage. Okay, so if you follow this approach, okay, that will result in reduction in number of changes that you need to make in future. Quality function deployment focuses on customer expectations or requirements, often referred to as the voice of the customer. Okay, in QFD we use the term voice of the customer. That is nothing but it is the expectation or needs of the customer. Quality function deployment is employed to translate customer expectation, that is needs, in terms of specific requirements into directions and actions. So directions and actions means, so being a mechanical engineer, okay, after getting the needs from the management or marketing department, okay, you will start designing. So that is the direction in which you can move. Okay, so designing, then action means after designing you have to start production, that is the action. Okay, in terms of engineering or technical characteristics that can be deployed through, and here customer expectations should be converted into technical characteristics that we will discuss later. So here it involves these stages. Product planning. So product planning means it is nothing but designing. Okay, so what type of product, okay, and what should be the size of the product, what are the features, okay, all those comes under product planning. Next, part development. If you have clear picture regarding the product, okay, then you can go for part development. If you consider any product, okay, most of the products consists of more than one component. Okay, so each individual component is having its own features. It requires a different manufacturing process. Okay, even if you consider a simple product like pen, okay, it may consist of 5 to 6 components. Okay, like cap, gripper, refill, container. Okay, so like that you can find number of components in most of the products. So that is the part development. Next, process planning. So after part development, so how we are going to manufacture each part, okay, which process we are going to employ. So that is the process planning. Next, production planning. What is the quantity, how much you are going to produce, okay, that is the production planning. Okay, so all these things we'll discuss in detail later in QFD process. Okay, next, the voice of the customer, that is how company can identify the actual requirements or needs of the customer. So that is called as the voice of the customer. So QFD focuses on the voice of the customer. That means it focuses on satisfying the requirements or needs of the customer. QFD concentrates on customer expectations and needs. A considerable amount of effort. Yourself. Harish, Harish, you have to mute yourself. Okay, next. Words used by the customers to describe their expectations are often referred to as the voice of the customer. Frequently, customer expectations are vague and general in nature. So by considering an example, we will understand, okay, what are the problems usually marketing team will face in order to understand the needs of the customer. Okay, so those things we will discuss later in next slide. It is a job of the quality function deployment team to analyze these customer expectations into more specific customer requirements. Okay, now consider the example, okay, where the requirement of the customer is, so you want to travel from Asan to Bangalore thrice in a week. Okay, this is the requirement or need of the customer. Okay, now being a member of quality function deployment team, okay, how will you understand this need and how will you satisfy this need? Okay, so start typing your answer. Okay, you can use chat option. Okay, can start typing your answer. So the question is, so here someone want to travel from Asan to Bangalore thrice in a week. That is the need or requirement. Okay, now how do you satisfy is our requirement or need? Okay, think and type the possible ways in which you can satisfy the need. Okay, what type of product is suitable for this, or what type of system or service is required to satisfy this need? Okay, that you have to type. So you can type in the conversation or chat. So here you can type your answer. Okay, you can earn bonus points by typing answers. So I will wait for 1 more minute. Okay, if no one is willing to answer for this, so then Amog Shashikumar.
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you want to travel from Asan to Bangalore, okay, if that is your requirement, what are the ways in which you can satisfy your requirement? What are the possible options in front of you? You can unmute yourself and you can answer. Next, Chandan Yale. Chandan. Okay, so what are the possible ways in which you can satisfy your need if you want to travel from Asan to Bangalore? What are the ways in which you can satisfy this requirement?
ಸಸ್ಪೆಷನ್ಸ್.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ನೀನ್ ಹಾಸನಿಂದ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ತರ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು?
ಸರ್ ಬಸ್, ಕಾರ್.
ಬಸ್, ಕಾರ್. ದೆನ್ train. Okay, then flight. Okay, even by walking. Okay, by this what you can understand is, so here the need of the person or the need of the customer is to travel from Hassan to Bangalore. Okay, suppose if you are able to identify only this much need, okay, you cannot fulfill his requirement. That means it is not possible to understand what the person actually need. Okay, what is his actual requirement? Whether you next, you must ask few more questions in order to understand the actual requirement. Okay, whether you want to own your vehicle, whether you want a own vehicle or you want public transport system. Next, if you want own vehicle, whether that should be a two-wheeler or four-wheeler. Okay, next, if you want to use public transport system, whether you go by bus, train, okay, or even flight. Okay, next, if it is a two-wheeler, okay, what must be how much you are ready to invest to buy the two-wheeler. Okay, if it is a car also, what must be the cost? Okay, what are your expectations? What should be the mileage? What should be the performance? What should be the speed? Okay, all these things you should understand. Without that, you cannot go for satisfying this need. Suppose without knowing all these details, if you go for designing a system, okay, you may think, okay, so you may want to buy car, and if you want, in order to satisfy his need, you may be designing a new car, and after that, once again, if you go back to this customer, he may be saying, so I don't want car. So what I need was, I want to travel from Hassan to Bangalore. So I need a public transport. If you say like that, okay, you will be in trouble. Okay, so that is the meaning. Understanding customer requirement in all its details. That means actual requirement is very important. Otherwise, company will end up with an incorrect product and they will fail in the market. Okay, next, quality function deployment begins with marketing to determine what exactly the customer expects from a product. Okay, in the previous case, what exactly you want, whether you want to own a car or whether you want to travel in by using public transport system. Okay, so that you should understand. During the collection of information, the quality function deployment team must ask questions such as, what does the customer really want? Okay, so that is the question you need to ask. What are the customers' expectations? What are their needs? Are the customers' expectations used to drive the design process? Is it possible for you, okay, being part of a company, is it possible for you to transform these expectations into a design or into a product or service? Next, what can the design team do to achieve customer satisfaction? So these are the questions you need to ask if you are part of this QFD team. Next, so here you have to gather information from customer. Okay, there are different ways in which you can gather this information. So that is represented in this figure. Okay, so in this flow chart, types of customer information and how to collect it. So there are in this flow chart, so there are 5 types of information. This is one group of information. This is another group. This is another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there are 5 types of customer information, and again there are 5 ways in which you can collect this information. Okay, before that, okay, so you have to understand these terms. Okay, so information, it will be collected in different way. Okay, one is solicited, means it is through search. Okay, if the company search for information, that type of information is called solicited. Okay, another name for solicited is search. Okay, solicited is nothing but search for information. Okay. Next, unsolicited means it is voluntarily the company will get the information, that is unsolicited. Okay. Solicited means company will search for the information and it will gather information. Unsolicited means it will get the information voluntarily from customers or from government, okay, or other means. Next, information can be quantitative or qualitative. Okay, what is the meaning of quantitative and qualitative? So already you are familiar with these terms. What do you mean by quantitative and what do you mean by qualitative? Bharat, what is the difference between quantitative information and qualitative information? Okay, Charan Raj MR. Gagan Billy. Okay, what is the difference between quantitative and qualitative information? Darshan Gowda. Okay, if you don't respond, I will mark absent. If attendance is considered seriously, I will mark absent. Hemant MU. Okay, what is the difference between quantitative and qualitative information? Okay, quantitative information means so it is measurable. Okay, qualitative information is it is non-measurable. Okay, so quantitative information can be directly converted into values, whereas qualitative you can say good, bad, okay, poor. So that is qualitative, where in case of quantitative you can say 10, 20, 30. Directly you can measure and you can convert it to a particular number. Qualitative means so good, bad, okay, average, poor, okay, low, high. So these are the qualitative information. Okay. Next, structured random. Structured means it is routine. Okay, so periodically you will get some information that is structured. Random means another name for random is haphazard. Okay, that means randomly. Okay, so randomly you will get the information. So these are the ways in which you can collect information. Okay, now so first consider how we can connect, get this information. Okay, this group of information. First, this is the one way. Okay, here in order to get this information, you have to follow this procedure. Okay, you have to search for information. Then this information will be quantitative. That means it is measurable, and it is routine. Okay, so when the company search for information, it can measure or it can get in terms of values, and it is periodic. Okay, what are the ways in which you can get solicited, quantitative and structured information? You can get through hotlines, surveys, customer tests, trade trials, preferred through preferred customers, on market testing, product purchase survey, customer audits. Okay, so in most of the cases, by conducting surveys and by contacting customers, okay, you can get solicited, quantitative and structured information. Okay, that is one way. Next, there is another way to collect information, that is this path. Okay, so this is first and this is second. Okay, unsolicited, that means it is voluntarily customers will give information to companies. Unsolicited, again quantitative, measurable, and it is routine, that is structured information. Okay, unsolicited, quantitative, structured information will be gathered through complaint reports. Okay, customers quite often customers will complain about the quality of the product. Again, so if the product doesn't work properly, okay, he will give complaint. Okay, he may send a mail, okay, to the company. That is the voluntarily company will get feedback about a product or service. That is another group of information volunteered by the customer, that is unsolicited quantitative structured information. It will be gathered through complaint reports, organization standards, government regulations. Suppose if company is violating the regulations, again government may issue a memo. Okay, again that is an information gathered from the government. Okay, volunteered by the government. Then lawsuits. If company violates laws of the land, then again it will receive notice. Okay, then again it is an information which is volunteered by a system, by legal system. Okay, next there is another group of information, so that will follow this path. Okay, solicited, that means it is again company will search for this information, and this information is not measurable. That means it will be a subjective information or qualitative information. Solicited qualitative structured information will be obtained from focus group. Okay, for any product or service there are target groups. Okay, if it is a textbook related to engineering, so focus group will be engineering students. Okay, if it is a novel, focus group will be people who have interest in literature. Okay, like that. If it is a app related to cricket, okay, focus group will be people who are interested in watching or playing cricket. Okay, like that you can identify the focus groups, you can interview them, and you can get the information. That is, company will search. Okay, so company will contact the focus groups and they will give this qualitative information, whether the service is good, bad, average. Okay, that is the qualitative information, and company can get this information whenever it want to get it. Okay, so that is, it is structured. Okay, solicited qualitative structured information, it will be obtained in this path. Next, there is another group of information solicited, that is company will search for that information and it will be a qualitative, random, and it will be obtained through trade visits, customer visits, and consultants. Okay, solicited, qualitative, random. Okay, so through this path company can get the information. Okay, next there is another way, unsolicited, that means it is also volunteered. Company don't search for this information, so it in one or other means it will get this information, and this information is qualitative, that is subjective or non-measurable. This type of information can be obtained through sales force, training programs, conventions, trade journals, trade shows, vendors, suppliers, academic, and employees. Okay, so this is another way. So there are 5 types of information. Okay, this is one, this is second type of information, this is third type of information, and this is fourth, and this is fifth. Okay, there are 5 types of information, and there are 5 different procedures you can follow to obtain this information. Okay, first, this is the first procedure, solicited quantitative structured. You can obtain this information through these methods. Okay, again, unsolicited quantitative structured information you can gather from these sources. Next, you can obtain solicited, okay, next quantitative structured through focus groups. Next, solicited qualitative, random information through trade visits, customer visits, and consultants. Next, another group of information, unsolicited qualitative random information you can obtain through these sources. Next, this is the description of whatever we discussed till now about this flow chart. Okay, there are different types of customer information and ways that an organization can collect data as shown in that figure this flow chart. The organization can search for the information, that is called as solicited, or the information can be volunteered, that is called as unsolicited, volunteered to the organization. Solicited and unsolicited information can be further categorized into measurable. Measurable is called as quantitative information. Non-measurable or subjective information is called qualitative, in terms of average, poor, high, low, okay, medium, average, good, bad. Okay, so these are the terms used to describe qualitative data. Next, qualitative information can be found in a routine manner or haphazard or random manner. Okay, so these are the types of information and the sources, okay, which we already discussed. All these things we have already discussed. You can go through this point. Next, the goal of quality function deployment is not only to meet as many customer expectations and needs as possible, but also to exceed customer expectations. Okay, so quality function deployment not only focuses on satisfying, it should exceed customer expectations. Okay. Next, how we can exceed customer expectations. Okay, suppose consider an example. Okay, you have written exam, okay, or you have written CIE, and now you are expecting 7 marks out of 10. Okay, instead of 7, if you get 9, okay, so your expectations exceed. Okay, similarly, suppose if you buy a car, okay, you may be expecting some features like you must be able to drive at a speed of 120 km/h. It should give a mileage of 18 km/liter. Okay, and it should have a good look. Okay, so this and the engine performance should be reliable. So this may be your expectations. Okay, suppose if it is having a laptop facility, okay, or if it is having a computer system in the car, okay, that is an additional feature given by the company which you are not expecting. Okay, so that may result in exceeding customer expectation. Okay, additional features which you are not expecting but company is providing at free of cost. Okay, so that will result in exceeding customer expectations. Next, so there is another concept used in quality function deployment that is called as house of quality. Okay, so it is called as house of quality because so things are arranged such that it will look like a house. Okay, it consists of these are called as this one and this one. So these are called as external walls. Okay, and this is considered as internal walls. Okay, it is these two are external walls, this one and this one. Okay, and this is called as internal walls. Okay, so this is called as second floor or ceiling of the house, and this is called as roof of the house. Okay, so here in house of quality concept, customer requirements are placed at walls of the house. Technical descriptors, okay, are placed at at ceiling, okay, and at the base, okay, or at the ground floor and the second floor you can find technical descriptors. Okay, and in interior walls you can find relationship between requirements and descriptors, and the roof you can find interrelationship between technical descriptors. Okay, product development starts from customer requirements. Okay, customer will if you go for surveying markets, if you go for market survey and if you meet customers, or you can get this information through many ways. Okay, with the help of nowadays even using artificial intelligence also you can understand the needs of the customer. That is also possible with AI technology. Okay, so customers will give is feedback. Okay, so in a very vague manner, Next, and if you contact 100 customers, okay, the needs of 100 people may be different. Next, company has to decide, okay, so what needs should be, on what needs it has to focus. Okay, it cannot satisfy needs of all 100 people. Okay, it can satisfy only needs of few people. Okay, next it will go for prioritizing this customer needs. Okay, if after market survey, when they list the customer requirements, it may be 20. Okay, so company cannot come up with a product or service which will satisfy all 20 needs. Then what it will do, it will, out of 20 requirements, it will pick few requirements which it can fulfill. Okay, or which most customers may want, those requirements or those needs. Okay, that will be chosen. That is the prioritized customer requirements out of 20. So 10 may be picked up for further development. Okay, next the question is, you have to transform these requirements into technical language. Okay, someone may say, okay, I want uh, okay, I want a car, okay, which will give 20 kilometer per liter mileage. Okay, that might be its requirement. Next, technical descriptors may be, okay, it may be descriptors regarding engine technology. Okay, so then um, it may be design requirements of the engine, performance of the engine. Okay, so how we can increase the efficiency of combustion. Okay, 100% combustion, is it possible to achieve? So those are the technical descriptors. So customers may say, so I need 20 kilometer per liter mileage. Next, technical descriptor means, so technically how we can achieve that. Okay, what should be the performance of the engine, at what level engine has to perform in order to satisfy this need. So those are the technical descriptors. Okay, for example, if a student say, okay, I want a pen which I can hold comfortably, okay, for 3 hours. Next, technical descriptor may be a smooth gripper. Okay, so that might be a technical descriptor, whereas customer is telling that, so I want a pen, okay, which I can hold comfortably for 3 hours. Okay, so that is the customer requirement. This customer requirement can be converted into a technical descriptor like a gripper. Okay, so smooth gripper. Next, relationship between requirements and descriptor, that is represented at the internal walls. Okay, how we can relate them, how we can relate the language of customer to technical language. Okay, primary planning tool used in quality function deployment is the house of quality. The house of quality translates the voice of the customer, that is requirements of the customer, into design requirements that meet specific target values and matches those against how an organization will meet those requirements. The exterior walls of the house are the customer requirements. On the left side is a listing of the voice of the customer. Okay, all these things I already explained. Next, QFD process. QFD process is accomplished by creating a chart in which house, that is technical descriptors of the previous chart, became what's, that is customer requirements of the new chart. This process continues until each objective is refined to an actionable level. This ensures that the target values are not lost during the QFD process. If the target values are changed, then the product is not meeting the customer requirements and not listening to the voice of the customer, which defeats the purpose of quality function deployment. Okay, so this is how QFD process will be performed. If you consider the house of quality, okay, so there's a relation between these figures and this one. Okay, so here you can see customer requirements. These are considered as watts. Okay, customer requirements are considered as watts. So this is watt. That means this is on the left side. You can see customer requirements. Okay, next here top and bottom. Okay, so here you can see technical descriptors. How? Okay, how these customer requirements can be satisfied, or how it can be transformed into a design, that is technical descriptor. So this is considered as what's, this is considered as hows. Okay, here what's, that means customer requirements. So these two, okay, so hows and how much. Okay, so this is a technical descriptor, prioritized technical descriptor. Okay, so here how much and how. Okay, so technical descriptor and prioritize technical descriptor. So you have what's, here you have hows and how much. Okay, next you can see this hows and how much of the previous chart will become what's of next chart. Okay, here there are two charts. This is one chart and this is another chart. So here customer requirements are listed, technical descriptors are listed, prioritized technical descriptors are listed here. Okay, these technical descriptors and prioritized technical descriptors will become what's of next chart. Okay, so this you will understand with an example later with the help of the flow chart. Okay, here you can understand QFD process include 4 stages. Okay, phase 1, product planning. Okay, you will plan which type of product you are going to come up, okay, based on the needs of the customer. It will start with customer requirements. You will do market survey and you will collect feedback of the customers, and you will understand needs or requirements of the customer. Based on that, you will plan a product. You will plan to bring a new product to market. That is phase 1 based on customer requirements. Next, here, so if you draw a QFD chart for phase 1, okay, so here what's customer requirements, how you will convert that into design requirements. Okay, customer requirements will be converted into design requirements. Next, phase 2, part development. Now you know what type of product you need to develop. Okay, so based on that you will divide. ಹೇಳಿ
ಸರ್. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಿ ಸರ್, ಯಾರೋ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಸರ್? 2-3 ಸಲ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಸರ್?
ಓಕೆ, I will check. Okay, next phase 2, part development. Okay, so if you know what if company has decided, okay, what type of product it need to develop, then that product can be divided into number of parts. Okay, so if you consider any product, it consists of number of parts. So similarly here also, next it will look into part development. Okay, so here you can see as we discussed, hows and how much, that is technical descriptors will become what's in next chart. Okay, here you can see, so this is the what's, this is hows. Okay, next design requirements will come here. Okay, so hows of previous chart become what's, how become what in the next chart. Okay, so customer requirements should be translated into technical descriptor, that is design requirements. Next, you are considering design requirements. In product development phase, these design requirements are translated into part quality characteristics. That means you are looking at each part, each feature of each part in detail in order to ensure quality of parts. Okay, that is part quality characteristics. You are focusing on quality of each part. Again, if you focus on quality of part, obviously you can get a better product. You can get good quality product. Okay, next, in process planning, so here you are going to decide which process need to be employed. So this part quality characteristics, that is hows of previous chart, will become what's of this chart, that is part quality characteristic. Here it is hows, here it will become what's. Okay, so part quality characteristics are converted into key process operations. So that means you know what are the requirements of the part, what are the features. Next, you will decide which manufacturing operation need to be employed in order to fabricate that particular part. Okay, so that is process planning. Which processes you need to employ, whether it is machining process. In machining, whether it may be turning, it may be milling, it may be grinding, planing, shaping, drilling. Okay, any of the machining operation. Or if it is not machining operation, it may be casting or it may be forging. Okay, or if it is a joining, it may be welding, or it may be with the help of fasteners. Okay, like that, there are many operations you can perform. Next, last stage is production planning. Now you know what are the operations you need to perform in order to get these parts. Okay, then after that you have to do assembly operations also, that is joining operations you need to perform. Later, the end result will be you will get a product. Okay, so after once you will come up with product, okay, next you will plan for production. Okay, what should be the quantity? It depends on demand in the market, whether you need to produce in 1 lakh units, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakh. Okay, what should be its quality? Sorry, what should be its quantity? That is production planning. Key process operations are converted into production requirements. Production requirements means what type of machines, okay, what facilities are required in order to satisfy the demand in the market. Okay, that is production requirements. So machines, okay, space, shop floor space required, machines, materials, raw material. Okay, all those things comes under production requirements. Okay, so finally you will end up with prototype, or you may be able to produce. First you will produce few units of a product. You will evaluate. Okay, if everything is right, you will go for mass production. Suppose if there are problems, once again you will go back to phase 1. Okay, so this is how QFD process will be done. Okay, so this is the description of whatever we have discussed till now in by using that flow chart. Okay, this you can read and you can understand. Next, okay, in